G'day everyone, and welcome to the start of this video. It's a bit different, this video. It's actually a review of all the places that we've been to during 2024, and we'll show you very short snippets of each location that we went to. And the two main areas that we did go to was Tasmania, which we did for 3 months, and the other one later on in the year was Eyre Peninsula, and we're over there for a number of weeks, and all the other places that we've been to in 2024. So we hope you enjoy what we've got to show you.
I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. Our first trip for 2024 had us heading down to the Eyre Peninsula, and it was Port Wollonga that we based ourselves while we're down there. The Eyre Peninsula has so many great beaches and drives that you can do whilst you're in the area, just so much to see. Port Parham is a low-cost camp and is located on the eastern side of St Vincent Gulf, and it was there that we enjoyed Australia Day. Moonta Bay is located on the Yorke Peninsula, and we normally go there around the summertime of each year and enjoy the beach life. On this trip to Moonta Bay, we were even lucky enough to be given some fish by a friendly fisherman, and as well as that, it's also a great spot to catch that blue swimmer crab.
Our time in Tasmania was quite different. It was something that we were looking forward to going over to, but unfortunately it was within the first couple of days that we arrived there that we were given the news that our brother-in-law had had a light plane crash, and that nearly cost him his life. So we struggled a bit to enjoy ourselves over there and publish photos and videos and the like of such a good time that we're having while he was fighting for his life, and that really made us wonder whether we should have kept going over there. We even considered parking the van up and flying back to South Australia and supporting the family, but my sister assured us that everything was going to be okay, and she wanted us to keep going with our holiday, so that's what we did, but it took us a long time to get past that moment. The video clips of Tassie are going to run pretty quick because it's only a small island, but there's so much to see, so it moves pretty quick as we go around Tasmania, so I hope you enjoy Tassie.
We were very lucky with all our time over in Tasmania on this trip because we had perfect weather for 99% of the time over there. And when we got into Devonport to be greeted with a scene like this, it was just picturesque. The Tasmanian Arboretum was a very pretty place to go, and as we're driving down here you can see the green trees. This is when we first got there, and then towards the end of our trip we went back there during the period here where the trees were such a beautiful orange colour. It was just blew our mind away. It was so different to when we got there. We'd been on Tasmania for less than a week, and one thing that we wanted to see was a platypus in the wild, and we were so pleased when we seen one here. As we travelled along the northwest coast of Tasmania, there was just so much to see, and it was early in the piece when we realised that if we didn't keep moving, we were going to run out of time and not get right around Tasmania in the 3 months that we had allocated for the trip. But so much beach camping and low-cost camping, absolutely beautiful. Stanley was one location that we sort of fell in love with as soon as we entered the place. Up on the nut you can walk around, you get 360-degree views of the area, and you can look down over the town of Stanley. And then towards the end of the trip we went and seen the fairy penguins coming home from their day out in the ocean. Whilst at Smithton we camped at a free camp area, and that was called Tall Timbers, and whilst there that allowed us to explore the northwest corner of Tassie. Lake Gardner is another free camp, and we'd heard a little bit about this one before we went to Tasmania, so we had to give it a go, and we were quite pleased that we did. Very small camp area, but the views very pretty indeed, and once again perfect weather while we're there. The Gordon River cruise, very picturesque indeed, and probably the most picturesque one that we went or area that we had a look at while we were in Tasmania. And of course, with the perfect weather conditions and the mirror glass images on the water, why wouldn't you be so pleased that you did it? Tasmania has an abundance of waterfalls and rainforests that you can walk into, and just too many here to show, but very pretty over there for their waterfalls and rainforests. The Wilderness Railway, we took 2 rides on this Wilderness Railway system, one from Strahan and one from Queenstown, and both very pretty and great in their own right. Another location that was on our list to go and have a look at was the Gordon Dam, and the waterways that we drove past as we were going out to the dam were very pretty, and almost as pretty as what the dam wall was, but we were very glad that we went out and had a look at the dam. The water level was low, but still well worth a look at. We took the very scenic drive that took us up to the top of Mount Wellington, and the lookout was absolutely superb. And of course, being such a clear day, that made it well and truly worth the exercise of going up there. It wasn't cold when we got up there. You do get snow up there at different times, I believe, but no, we really enjoyed the views from up there. Whilst we were camped at Jeeverston, we took the drive out to Tahoon Adventures and had to walk out on the airwalk high up, and beautiful views out over the river here, and it would just be magic should you be there when there's a little bit more water than what there was when we were here, but still well worth the exercise of having a look. Hastings Cave, now by far the most impressive cave that we visited in all our time on Tasmania. Not to say it's the best one, because we didn't do them all, there's just too much over there to do, but no, we were very impressed with this one. Our stay at Jeeverston was the longest one stay that we stayed at. I think it was about 8 days, 8 nights that we camped there, and the platypus here, so friendly and just put on such a big show for everyone that wanted to view it, and that was there just about every day, so certainly a place to go and see a platypus. We took a ferry ride over to Bruny Island, and we quickly learnt once we got onto Bruny Island that the single day that we allowed to go over there and view the area wasn't going to be enough, but never mind, there's always next trip, and so much to see over there with the lighthouse and the neck, very pretty. The Bruny Baker bread fridge was another thing that we'd heard about, and of course whilst there we had to stop and pick up some goodies. The Richmond Bridge is a heritage listed arch bridge, and it's the oldest stone span bridge within Australia. It's an amazing piece of construction really, and for it still being used today is proof to that. We went and had a look at the historic site at Port Arthur, and when you buy your ticket to go into this one, it allows you to have a ticket entry for 2 days. We only stayed the 1 day, and there is just so much, there's too much to see in the 1 day, but we were quite pleased with what we did manage to see, and absolutely mind-blowing. Wineglass Bay, very pretty to look at, but a little bit disappointing that it's such a trek to get right down onto the beach. Another location that we wanted to visit, and that was the Bay of Fires, and here at Swimcart Beach is what they call the $1 Million Road where we are, and we were lucky enough that when we entered the area there was someone leaving, so that gave us this pristine spot to camp for a few nights and look out over the water. Although we didn't camp at Swanport, it certainly is a very pretty place to look at. Pine Garner, very picturesque with the green field here and the rolling hills. We camped here for a few nights and we really enjoyed our stay here. The ledgerwood tree carvings, it's very clever what they did here to preserve the trees that were going to be demolished, and it's well worth the read of the history of how it all began. Bridport, it's on the north coast of Tasmania over towards the eastern side, and we found this one to be a very picturesque. We only went out for a day drive, but well worth the exercise. After our look around Bridport, we made our way back to where we were camping, and it was this sidelings lookout that we had a look at, and had the sun been shining a little bit more intensely, it would have been a beautiful lookout. Cataract Gorge in Launceston is a very pretty place to have a look at, and we took the walk in from the Tamar River end, and we walked right up to the gorge. We took a chairlift across, and the scenic views from up there were to die for. Once in the gorge, we did the circuit walk, and that took us over the swing bridge and back up to the chairlift, that we then took the chairlift back across the top of the gorge, and then we did the walk back to the Tamar River. Campbelltown has the Red Bridge, and believe it or not, there's over 1.5 million handmade bricks that were produced to make this bridge, and up on the lawn area above the bridge there's another set of wood carvings. We spent one night at Oatlands, and it was there that we had a look at the Callington Mill, and it's a Lincolnshire tower mill built in 1837. For our night that we camped at Eyre, there was actually snow forecasted for that night, and we thought it was something that we were going to have to come back to Tasmania to see, but lo and behold, we woke up the next morning and there was snow falling. Oh, bitterly cold, but such a beautiful sight to see. Jacob's Ladder was another one of those items that we had on that big list that wanted to go and have a look at, and when we got there the fog was rolling in and we weren't sure whether we should go up to the top or not, but eventually we waited until it cleared a bit. We did, and oh, what a view we had once we got up there. When that fog cleared off, it was such a magic thing to look down and see the ladder come up the hill. Once back on the mainland from Tassie, we went to Glenrowan and had a look at Ned Kelly, and then on to the Edamogga pub. We did the full circuit drive around the Hume Dam, and that also allowed us to have a look at the dam wall. One location that we wanted to have a look at, and that was a stick shed at Matoa in Victoria. Quite an achievement, this one, when it was built on the day, for the period that it took to build it and what it was used for, and the fact that it's still standing now. Passing through Lameroo in South Australia, we took the opportunity to have a look at this silo art that was only completed the week prior to us getting there. Making our way to the Southern Flinders Ranges here in South Australia, we took the opportunity to visit family. We camped a few nights in the Ipinichi campground in the Warabra Forest in the Southern Flinders Ranges, and it was great to catch up with Mark, my fellow driver that I was driving with before I retired from truck driving. Port Hughes is a seaside town located on the western side of York Peninsula in South Australia. During our stay there, we were in the caravan park and we were on an elevated site, I guess you could call, offering beautiful views out over the Gulf. During our stay at Port Hughes, we enjoyed some great beach walks. Port Broughton is located on the western side of Yorke Peninsula, and it's on the upper part of the peninsula itself. As you move to the upper part of the peninsula, you start to miss out on those beaches that allow you to go for those walks, but in saying that, still a lovely place to visit. Wallaroo located on the Yorke Peninsula again, and we had a bit of a mixed bag on weather whilst we're here. We had a little bit of rain and a lot of sunshine. There's actually quite a bit to do in the Wallaroo area, from Point Riley and then to have a look at the new marina. Well, it's not really new, it's been around for a lot of years now, and then you've got North Beach for swimming. Hogwash Bend, located on the River Murray in South Australia, it was good to be able to get back there because it is our favourite spot, or one of our favourite spots, to be camping on the side of the River Murray. And with all the recent flooding that we've had, it's only just recently opened up to be able to go back and enjoy it as it is. We see some great sunsets and sunrises here at Hogwash Bend. No wonder we love the place so much. A little bit different on this one. It was just a day drive. We went to Mannum here and had a look at the Murray Princess before we went on to Bow Hill and enjoyed a beautiful Father's Day luncheon there. Another area that we like visiting in South Australia, and that's what we call Burra Gorge. Some people refer it to as Burra Creek or World's End Reserve, but it's a big camp area and offers some great walks. It was nice on the time that we're there this time that my sister came out from Burra. She lives in Burra, and then that evening Denise came out and oh, what a surprise, she brought out pizza for tea, so that was very nice around the fire. It was the first time that we were having our setup professionally weighed. We thought we were okay, but once again it raises that ugly thing about being overweight.
The Eyre Peninsula is a little bit like when we're in Tassie with the video clips that we showed you there. It's a lot to see down there, so as with Tasmania, the video clips do move quickly, so I hope you can see what we're trying to show you.
As we made our way to the Eyre Peninsula, it was nice to see the red dirt here at Eyre, the low-cost camp here at Kimber. We'd heard so much about this one, so we had to stay, and of course then I was off down to have a look at the Big Cocky, and of course a very pretty solo art before we made our way to Ceduna. After leaving Ceduna, we headed south and made our way on the western side of the Eyre Peninsula, and there we had many beach camps and beautiful views to look at before finally making our way to Streaky Bay. There is a coastal drive out from Elliston, and that brings you around these sculptures. They're big sculptures, they're not small by no means, and you'll see them as you progress along the drive. We then went out to Point Labatt and had a look at the seal colony. No trip to the Eyre Peninsula would be complete without visiting the Murphy's Haystacks. The western side of Eyre Peninsula has some very rugged yet very beautiful coastal scenery, and from the Talia Caves to the beaches to the rugged cliffs, it has everything. For most of the time that we spent on the Eyre Peninsula on this trip, we were lucky enough to have good weather, and that makes for blue skies and very blue water. We spent a couple of nights here in the Sheringa campground, and it was only a short walk to the water, and then it was a very pleasant stroll that you could take along the firm sand of the Sheringa beach. Farm Beach was firm, and that allowed you to drive a vehicle on the beach. It was amazing the number of sandy beaches that we found in amongst all these cliffs as we made our way down along the peninsula. The drone's up high and it can see what you can't get to by foot. Loxwell, it's well known for its good salmon fishing directly from the beach. Coffin Bay down towards the bottom of the peninsula would be great to see from a scenic flight. It's got some wonderful beaches out in the Coffin Bay National Park, and they're very good to walk on. Port Lincoln with all its tuna boats and the marina, it's such a lovely place to base yourself on to explore the bottom of the peninsula. As we start to head north on the eastern side of the peninsula, we visit places like Tumby Bay. We see some very large sand hills, and while enjoying some beachside camping, we view some colourful sunrises. Since our last trip over that way and stopping at Cow's certainly done a lot of redevelopment on the foreshore. Whyala's foreshore is certainly worth a visit, as is the new circular jetty. Our last night of the Eyre Peninsula trip was spent here at Fitzgerald Bay, and that is just north of Point Lowly. Lots of camping areas along here, and you're right on the water, and sometimes you might get a good sunrise. Although warm for the first day, we enjoyed our time here at the Mambray Creek National Park. It's a place to go to relax, and if you're lucky, you can get close to nature. Spending 3 or 4 nights here in the caravan park at Renmark is the one that was down near the Pringa Bridge, and in our view, it's possibly the best caravan park now that you can stay at whilst visiting Renmark. It's only a short drive across the Pringa Bridge, and you're here at the Bert Dix Park. And if you're lucky enough, you'll see them raise the bridge, and that will allow the river traffic to cross underneath the bridge. And then once that's all finished, they'll lower the bridge and resume normal traffic. Berry is another Riverland country town, and of course located right on the River Murray, and it's here that we go to the Traveller Owners Group Caravan Get Together, and it's an annual get together, and unfortunately for us it's the last time that we can officially attend as an owner, because after this trip we're selling our caravan. For the second time this year, we pay another visit to our favourite river camping location, and that's Hogwash Bend. When we come here, we normally come here on our own, but this trip's a little bit different. We've got 4 lots, and we've got people from Nuriupta, Tasmania, Burra, as well as ourselves. Trip for us with the group, but it's going to be one that we'll remember for a long time. Our final trip for 2024 was to Ardrossan, and in the period between our previous Hogwash Bend trip and this one, we'd purchased our new caravan, and this for us was our shakedown trip with the new van. We took our crab drop nets and we enjoyed some successful crabbing whilst we were in Ardrossan. We took a drive out to Black Point, and the dogs enjoyed a beach walk. When the seawater's calm and that morning sun is shining at Ardrossan, doesn't it light up the cliffs? What a way to finish off a good year with a Christmas parade down the Ardrossan Street. Well, we hope you've enjoyed what we've shown you of where we've been in 2024, and 2025 is going to be another big year for us. We're going up into Northern Territory and down the West Australian coast down to Perth, and then back to South Australia. So if you want to see some of that and the other places that we go, like and subscribe and get notification of when we put those videos out. But until that next video does go up, you take care and enjoy yourself.